breath and allow yourself to truly enter this energy. Because today's tarot reading is not just exposing another person's behavior. It is exposing a psychological and spiritual mechanism behind why some people create a false version of someone they once deeply loved. My name is Atma. I'm so happy to see in my channel Tarot Sound. And Spirit says very clearly that message is going to hit hard for someone watching, because the person you are asking about did not see you clearly. They saw you through the filter of their wounds, fears, guilt, and emotional immaturity. So they create a version of you in their head in order to justify their own actions. And the painful part, after repeating the story long enough, they almost started believing it themselves. So if you're being confused, if you've been replaying conversation in your mind, if you've been wondering how someone who once adored you suddenly treated you like you were the nobody know what, stay until the very end of this reading, because Spirit is going to reveal what they secretly think about you right now. What is collapsing inside their mind and why they cannot fully escape your energy, no matter how hard they try. So, before we begin, subscribe to the channel so you never miss future opportunity to find some information about your future. Put a like on this video for energy exchange. It helps this reading travel to the souls who truly need confirmation today. And thank you deeply for everyone supporting this channel with donation and financial support. Your love is generously help the spiritual space continue growing every single day. If you like a personal consultation, all information is available through the link in the first pinned comment and through my email. Now let's enter to this reading. The first things, Spirit showing consultation. What? Consultation? This person talk about with somebody about you. He denies something heavy. This person could not emotionally process the impact you had on their life. You awaken emotions inside them that they were not prepared to handle. And instead of comforting this emotion honestly, they create emotional distance by mentally rewriting who you were. And instead of this, Spirit says this person needs you to become the problem, because otherwise they would have to admit something extremely uncomfortable, that they sabotaged a meaningful connection. And some people would rather destroy a connection than admit they were the ones destroyed it. That message alone is confirmation. Confirmation for someone. Yes, I keep hearing, if I blame them, then I don't have to face to myself. This person may have painted you as dramatic, needy, cold, manipulative, too emotional, too distant, too spiritual, too sensitive. But Spirit says, no one of those labels were truly about you. They were reflections of the emotional discomfort you triggered inside them. You forced this person to confront parts of themselves they spent years avoiding. You challenged their emotional masks. You challenged their control. You challenged the image they had carefully built of themselves. And because of that, your presence became both addictive and terrifying to them. Spirit kept showing me someone who felt exposed around you. Yeah, you could see through them, even when they pretend to be okay, even if they lied, even when they avoided difficult conversation, even if they emotionally shut down. Your intuition unsettled them because you noticed things very yeah, they tried to hide from the world. And instead of appreciating the depth of the connection, they became defensive. For some viewers, this person may have started criticizing the very qualities they originally loved about you. This is extremely significant. At first, they admired your sensitivity. Then suddenly, you were too emotional. At first, they admired your independence. Then suddenly, you were too distant. At first, they admired your spiritual energy. And then suddenly, you were unrealistic. So, do you see that spirit it's revealing? The qualities never changed. Their emotional tolerance changed. The deeper the connection became, the more threatened they felt by vulnerability. So they mentally transformed your strength into flaws. That was easier than admitting intimacy scared them. Spirit says many of you weren't dealing with someone emotionally fragmented. Someone who wants love but feared emotional exposure. Someone who craved closeness but panicked when it became real. And when that panic activated, they started rewriting the narrative. I'm hearing they were too much. They expect too much from me. They made me feel pressured. But spirits say the truth. They say to themselves, they made me feel emotionally accountable. And this person was not ready for accountability. For many of you, this person grew up emotionally disconnected. Some never even learned healthy communication. Some learn to suppress emotions. Some learn to avoid conflict at all cost. Some learn to protect themselves through detachment, sarcasm, avoidance, or emotional manipulation. And when your love confronted those patterns, they project their inner house inside you. Projection is very strong energy in this reading. Spirit wants you to understand this deeply. Projections happens when someone cannot face something inside themselves. So they inconsistently place into other person. So if they were dishonest, they accused you of dishonestly. If they were emotional unavailable, they called you difficult. If they feared commitment, they convinced themselves you were impossible to satisfy. And the tragedy here is that many of you internalized those protections. You start questioning your worth, your character, your intentions. Spirit says enough. You are not required to carry someone else's unresolved trauma as your identity. That message is powerful. Some of you are still emotionally exhausted because you spent months, maybe even years, trying to explain yourselves to someone determined to misunderstand you. But Spirit says, people only misunderstand you repeatedly when misunderstanding you benefits them emotionally. Let that sink in, because if they understood your heart clearly, they would also have a confront the pain they caused. And many people avoid guilt but rewriting history. I keep seeing this person replying the relationship in their head. But now, the false story is beginning to crack. Because time creates a representative. And distance removes emotional defensiveness. Now, they are starting to remember the moments they ignored, the times you support them, the patience you showed, the love you offered even when they were difficult. And the more they remember, the more uncomfortable they become. Because deep down, they know you are not the they created. Spirit says this person is now haunted by emotional contradiction. Their ego says you were the problem, but their soul says, why I do still miss them. That internal conflict is becoming stronger. For some viewers, this person might secretly watch your social media, ask mutual friends about you, or repeatedly check your online activity. Because despite the image they create publicity, emotionally they never fully detached. And spirits say they are beginning to realize they lost someone genuine. And that realization it's not easy for them, especially because many of them acted confident after separation. They pretend not to care, pretend to move on quickly, pretend they were happier without you. But emotional truth is always surfaces eventually. Always. I'm hearing another strong message. This person is embarrassed by their own behavior now. Not always consistently, but energetically, yes. Because some part of them recognize they acted unfairly. Some of them know they weaponized your vulnerabilities during arguments. Some know they blame you for issues they contribute to equality. Some know they emotionally abandoned their connection while expanding you continue carrying it alone. And Spirit says many of you stay longer than you should have because your heart keep hoping they would eventually become emotionally honest. That's true? If it's true, like this video, show me. Say yes in the comments, just don't be silent. Always communicate with universe. Send some comments, send some like, and confirm this information. Climb 1111 in the comments, because that sentence is confirmation for someone today. You cannot heal a connection alone. You cannot carry emotional responsibility for two people forever. And Spirit is proud of many of you, because this the pain you finally started choosing yourself. That was not selfish. That was survival. I also feel many of you impact your absence would have on this person. They acted unaffected, but Spirit says your absence destabilized them more than they expected, because your energy brought emotional warmth into their life. And once the warmth is disappeared, they start feeling the emptiness they previously blamed on you. So that's irony. It's important. The peace they threw, they would again without you never truly arrived. Instead, they encountered themselves. And that confrontation is so uncomfortable. I'm seeing sleepless nights again, mental replaying regret, moments where your memory suddenly appears out of nowhere, songs triggering emotions, phrases reminds them of you. He's crazy. is crazy about you. Spirit says the connection changed them permanently, even if they never admit it openly. And some of them are now realizing they projected their fears into the very person who loved them most sincerely. That realization creates grief. Not only grief for losing you, but grief of the version of themselves what sabotaged love. Spirit also saying, do not wait for this person's apology in order to heal. Because your healing is sacred whatever close arrives or not. Someone will apologize. Someone will never fully acknowledge the truth verbally. But energetically, the truth is already exists. Their souls knows, and your soul knows. And that's enough. I'm hearing another message very clearly. Many of you are entering a period where your confidence returns stronger than before. You are reclaiming your identity outside of their projections. You are remembering who you were before someone made you question about own light. And that transformation is beautiful. Because Spirit says the greatest revenge, it's not bitterness. It is emotional freedom. It's becoming impossible to manipulate emotional anymore. It's no longer being for validation from emotionally unavailable people. It is finally understanding. Someone misunderstanding you does not define your worth. And many of you are finally reaching that realization now. This reading also carries a warning. If this person returns suddenly, listen me carefully right now. If this person returns suddenly, pay attention to whatever they bring, accountability or only loneliness. Because missing your energy is not the same things as being emotionally transformed. Very important. Some will return sincerely. Others will return simply because they cannot replace what you give them emotionally. Trust your intuition. Spirit says your intuition was never wrong about this person. You simply kept hoping their potential would become reality. And that message just hit someone deeply. I also feel a powerful energetic shift coming toward you after this reading. You are becoming harder to manipulate through guilt, harder to emotional confuse, harder to destabilize. Because clarity changes everything. And once you truly see the patterns, you cannot unsee them. This person may have created a false version of you. But Spirit says divine truth cannot remain buried forever. Eventually, reality surfaces. Eventually, masks fall. Eventually, the souls become louder than ego. And whether they admit it publicly or privately, many of them now know you were not who they convinced themselves you were. You are simply someone who loved them deeply enough to trigger transformation. And they were not ready for it. If this reading resonates with your soul, subscribe to the channel, like this video for energy exchange, and share your thoughts in the comments below. I love connecting with this incredible soul family. Thank you again for every donation, every kind of word, every prayer, and very moment of support. Your energy keeps this channel alive and growing. And if you like a personal private consultation, all information available through a link in the first pinned comment and through my email. Someone else's inability to see your truth does not make your truth disappear. Your legs remain real. Your heart remains valuable. And universe always reveals what was hidden in darkness.